Hello, my family. Well, as you see, today we're outside. We are having some of the most craziest weather here in upper Mississippi I have seen in a while. Now, yesterday was really cool. It was really breezy. I think it didn't get no higher than in the 50s, and today it feels like we're in the 70s. We have a storm coming through, and then right after this, we're going to get cold again. Here in Mississippi, they don't know what kind of weather we're going to have one way or another, so we're just kind of dealing with it. I am in one of my 20-foot greenhouses. I did have a lady, God bless you, I saw you, sweetheart, and I am actually going to do my best to make videos very soon, especially when it comes spring. But I have some videos as we first started in the beginning about a year ago, where I had shown areas of our small little well, I call it farm homestead, and how we were able to do our gardens and all this. I am actually in one of those 20-foot greenhouses, and here in December, I have learned over time I really don't try to grow that much. What we have are remnants of what I grew in the fall, and that's as far as it's going to go. Once the cold hard freezes, which is usually about January for us, happens, these greenhouses are all getting shut down. They will be replenished and will not be touched until about, I'd say, the end of February, middle of March. So right now I'm going to do some gathering, and I'm going to show you a few of the gatherings that I have. Like I said, we don't have much at this point, but for Mediterranean food, this works out fantastic. So let me go ahead and show you what we do have, and show you what you could probably be growing right now, and many different ways to be able to do that. If you are living in an apartment complex, that should not stop you. Honestly, even if you've got a small yard, there are ways for everybody to be able to plant a vegetable one way or another, and I will show you how to do so, and be able to, that you can enjoy freshness at least as much as possible. Y'all, I'm not one who tells people what to do, but I have noticed back in October here, Christmas came about awful quick. And so we had noticed that that was actually really strange. With that, I had in mind something is going to happen, and I don't know what causes me to do that. But Christmas isn't even here. I am watching everything that should be going into sales and all that right now. We're actually leaving our sales, and prices are starting to rise. I bought a head of lettuce yesterday for $1.72. Little by little, everything is going back up. One of the things that it is being said, I don't know how true these are just things I'm watching. I'm not jumping to conclusions. I'm going to watch before I make my decisions. But grain and dairy are two things that they are saying, which, you know what, give us folks a heads up. That's really great. Let us know what you're fixing to hit us with. So watch your grains, watch your dairies, and watch your fresh fruits and vegetables. If you can do it by yourself, please do it. And that's the reason why I'm going to get into more in homesteading from now on, because there's a lot of you who are asking, how do I homestead? It's really not that hard, but I will tell you, please don't jump into it gung-ho. You will hit a brick wall. I know this for a fact because I did it. I take this one step at a time now, because otherwise it can be extremely overwhelming. And I was at points wanting to throw my hands up and say, you know what, I'm finished. So I'm going to try to take you slowly. I need to do some gathering, so let's hit the garden, show you what we have. This crop right here is actually our bok choy, and I am starting to get sprouts coming off the top of it. So this tells me I need to start actually pulling these and start using them. I will not freeze bok choy, but in the refrigerator in a airtight container, these actually can last a little bit, not too long, but it will give me enough time to create meals out of this, because this is one of these vegetables. It's like a cabbage. To me, if you freeze it, you've done ruined it. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this one. It is starting to grow tall, and it's telling me that it's not going to last long. Now this end here I'm going to cut off and use it for my compost. But composting basically is I'm going to chop and drop. I am chopping them off and I'm going to drop them into my garden, re-till it back up, or not till it, but I'm going to put them into this ground and I'm going to let it refertilize itself. There's no seed. I'm just going to take my biggest one, and the noise you're hearing is hubby is actually working on his daddy's truck so we can get it running because we actually need it. So, well, that was a baby one attached to this. These things are, I think, are regrowing itself. Wow. Never seen that before. Okay. So I'm just going through here and I'm looking. This one can still, nope. This one here is about gone too. I have to admit though, this is actually really pretty bok choy. I'm blessed. You know, whether I have a fantastic crop, whether I have a large or small crop, I'm blessed because I can't just get this anywhere. And me to have the ability to do what I do, the want to, I can have whatever I want just by doing this. When you can fill a basket like this for your family and go in your kitchen and prepare a meal, there is no greater satisfaction than having that. I mean, it's hard to describe. When I go to my kitchen and I start washing my vegetables and putting them into a meal, there is such a satisfying, comforting feeling about this. And knowing that these two hands that God gave me started doing this by planting a seed. So that's the reason why I teach homesteading. It's hard to describe. Okay, these are real small ones. I'm going to take everything I can possibly get. Yeah, these are real small ones, but we're about to get cold again, so I'm just going to go ahead and start harvesting, honestly. I don't want to stress these plants. They've been going cold, hot, and I know it's stressing them. So, and like I told y'all, we don't live on a fancy farm. We are city, county borderline, so you're going to hear the city sirens and everything else, which I can't stop that. Some of these other ones here. Yeah, this one right here, it's getting too big. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and finish off this batch, and then I'm going to take you to the greens. Well, we end up picking all of these, and we got a good mess of this, so I am highly blessed. What is left has been pretty much eaten by a lot of bugs. So what we're going to do is just literally pull these. I'm going to till them up into the ground and let them refertilize for our next spring season. I'm going to take you over to our greens now. I've got to go get another basket because this one here there's no more room. So we will be back with the second basket to pick our greens. I got to thinking, so many of you were probably sitting here questioning what is the chop and drop method. So as I was starting to do this and pull these, I started thinking about that, and so I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. We do not take our raised beds and till them constantly. As a matter of fact, we have to refill them at times. Now this one here is about 5 years old, and even the boards are starting to veer off in their own direction. They have to be redirected. We try not to till it, ruining the organism, or what do you call it? The balance within the soil. We'll put it that way. So what I'm going to do is just take a shovel and just lightly turn it. So all I'm doing is pulling, even the weeds, y'all. All of this is nutrients. It's just like natural compost in my soil. Yes, I do still pull weeds. It's inevitable. I've tried everything, and so, but I'm chopping this down and turning this, basically we're going to be turning this into a compost in itself. It's natural compost. It's what's been grown. It will put oxygen and nutrients and vitamins back into the soil that grew all these beautiful vegetables. So I just take this, and last year in here I had some pumpkins, and it didn't work out the way I wanted to, but last year I put some pumpkins in here, and I was going to do that because they turned out to be an amazing fertilizer in this garden. We had the prettiest tomatoes you have ever seen this year, so I just wished I would have had that chance to do it again. But I'm going to take what I can. We do have some compost over there, and I'll probably do that this summer or spring when it comes to planting again. We'll probably put some of that compost in here, which is going to be the best thing we can actually do. So I'm just taking and breaking these off, roots and all. If it comes back, it comes back. I don't worry about it. To me, it's free food. So after doing this, no, I don't mind getting my hands dirty, y'all. This is beautiful nature to me. Then I just take my soil and I'll just turn it. Putting this back into my soil, and this is what it's called, chop and drop. Now, you can just drop it. You can just literally do what I just did. That's an actual chop and drop. Just chop them and just drop them on top of your soil. But I'm actually tilling mine or turning mine inside the soil so I can get them in here. It's either way it's going to go. It's all going to rot. So I'm just going to, like I said, I'm just doing a lightly thing because I don't want to disturb everything in here. And I'm just going to let nature take its course just like this throughout the winter. I'm not even going to disturb it. Over the winter, I've even had deer stepping into my garden beds because they were coming after the greens that I have in here. But you should see the soil. It is absolutely beautiful. But I do have to amend it, but I try to keep it as natural as possible. I do not like using commercial fertilizers. I love all naturals. My plants have been improving over the years because of it. Now we're going to go over to our greens. Now this is our turnip greens bed, and I couldn't be more prouder. Now I am only going to pick the biggest leaves. We're going to let this grow because these can continually to produce. Down here in the deep south, we say this grows abundantly. Now I will give you a quick recipe. It's a southern style recipe. Those of you from the south, from Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, you all know or have heard of what's called poke salad. But those in the northern region might not know what that is. So here down south we have a weed called the pokeweed. Technically this pokeweed is actually poisonous, so it has to be boiled down quite a bit. Now I happen to like poke salad, but I don't like the fact that if I don't cook this pokeweed down the right way, I might hurt myself if I don't know what I'm doing. So I found an alternative to that. So what we would do is we would take the poke leaves, we would mix it with some bacon fat, some bacon, and some scrambled eggs. It is actually a really good dish. I will take my greens. It is safer. Any type of green, whether it's turnip greens, mustard greens, collard greens, any of these greens will work substitution for poke salad. Y'all mix that in there, saute it up with some bacon fat, add some bacon bits and some scrambled eggs. It's a really quick, easy side dish, snack for lunch, whatever. So I am actually getting ready to make some poke salad out of this because I've been really wanting some. So in case you want to try an old southern recipe, hopefully that gave you an alternative and you don't have to worry about cooking out the poisons in a weed. So I'm just going to go here picking out my biggest leaves. I made already a picking from this batch. So I'm coming back for some more. It's been about a week or two since I did my last picking. I can freeze these if I want to. I'm still waiting on my kale to start coming in. Our weather's been screwy, so it's got some things coming in slower than others. So I'm excited over this, y'all. I love picking fresh greens. And while everybody's buying them out right now, I don't have to worry about that. I just come to my backyard. It is hard to keep greens in our store at the moment. Especially as New Year's comes around. That is, Lord help. And I ended up canning some of these over the summer, so that means that we are going to actually have them without having to fight with anybody, and I will absolutely do that again. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick some of these leaves here and here. If you could feel what this is like, and I am leaving the small leaves because, like I said, these are the gift that keeps on giving. They give so much to us, and I can't be thankful enough. So I'm going to go ahead, take this batch and start cutting it down. Then we're going to go check out our green onions and our kale. Okay, we didn't get a whole lot out of this, but we did get enough for me and hubby to make a thing of poke salad for a side meal. So let's go get you started showing you. I'm going to go ahead and, for those of you, many of you who are new to this channel, instead of going back 200 and something videos, on this one I will go ahead, there's nothing growing hardly, so just know that. But I will show you the setup that we have for our gardening system here in a city-county borderline. Okay, so this is one of our 20-foot greenhouses I talked about. What it is we have a 20-foot frame. Now, at one time we did cover this with that green piece right there. What we have found is here, with our weather so messed up, even in the winter time, we were heating some of these cool weather crops, as you can see right here. So in doing so, we ended up pulling that off because it was just too much. We couldn't keep what little crops we do have. Now we do use a shade cloth in the summer because we get so hot, it will bake a tomato. So these are actually, the board I was telling you is falling apart. We've got to find a way to fix this right now. But these are our raised beds. Again, this is going on 4 years since we started homesteading. Now some of the ideas that I will give you that you can use, you see these here, these are black cloth pots. I got these off of Amazon. I wanted to try them. I will tell you they work fantastic as far as growing because they are airy, they are lightweight, they will endure the weather, and they drain exceptionally well. The downside to them, honestly, they drain so well that they will constantly dry out on you, so you have to keep these watered. Best thing I would say is if you're only doing a few, I've got way too many. If you are doing a few, set them off into a canister, container, whatever, where you can get a line of water to these, because it's going to be hard to keep them moist. So that's the only downfall. Otherwise, I absolutely love these. Another thing we have used is this right here, which is where my green onions are. These are a swimming pool. It was an old swimming pool that was given to us. We took a drill, drilled out the bottom, and they are great for things like greens and onions, lettuce, small radishes. I've grown radishes, and it's going to start raining on us. My husband also built this small bed for us, which I use for various small gardening. The 20-footer right here, I'm trying to give you a better look. We've got 2 of these. And during the summer, actually, we use one for our tomato house, which that's what this one is, and we may switch. And then this one here we've used for our pepper. Now you see all the leaves had fallen on it. We're not touching this. We're going to let nature take its course and let it do its thing on our beds. And then we have 2 line fences where we have right now sugar snap peas. Now they're not doing fantastic here. I mean, this weather is so messed up. We're going to be grateful for what we can get. Sugar snap peas has been hard to grow here for some reason. And then again, we have another swimming pool. Everything is pretty much dead out right now, so we're just kind of basically waiting out winter. And then here, let me take you here. This is our 10-footer, same basic concept. We have the raised beds here. We have some more greens going on. And then here is, we have tires around this bed. And then a hoop wagon. Let's see if I can get this to you to show you going this way. A hoop wagon like this that we can use for a covering. So, and again, I use the pots on that too. So we do have a few greens. All right, y'all. I had to actually come back to the greenhouse here and try to keep this dry as much as possible. These are just a few areas, and then on other areas of the property, we have small raised beds as well. We do a lot of raised beds. This land, we literally tried to till this land when we first came here. It was disturbing to find motor parts and garbage and glass, and there was so much damage to this soil. It would have taken us thousands and thousands of dollars to replenish it. It just was not worth it to us. Our easiest method for us that turned out to be absolutely perfect was just making raised beds. So, and I see we did have another plot of greens, and a deer came by and ate it all up. I love that. Not, but it is what it is. So like I said, we are grateful for what we can get. So this is just a small segment. There's not much going on here in the winter time, but just to show you, because many of you asked us how we are growing our own. Eventually, as time goes on, I will show you the whole property. And a matter of fact, is some of my videos, if you go back to the beginning, I have videos of where we had done that. So I'm hoping this helped you. I will do a segment again. There is videos out there. I've talked about homesteading. I'm hoping that you will find those very helpful. And if not, I am taking down all of your questions, and I will be doing videos. I will try to keep them in a timely manner, but there's just so much information I don't want you to lose out on. So I will continue to keep reading your comments, seeing any of you. Those who want the pie crust, I will absolutely get to that recipe as well for you and show you how to do these. So there's just so much I want to be able to show you, and you to be able to have in your own home free of charge. You know, I learned, and so why wouldn't I share it with you? I'm honored to share it with you. So much love to each and every one of you. I am fixing to go cook, and we have a meal that I'm going to be coming up with tonight actually. So that will be another video in our kitchen. Much love to you from Parton's Heritage Homestead.